from Bungoma, Gongwa, MONBASA, MVITA. I'm going to talk about something that everybody loves. Liberty. Even the first blacks from the Americas went to a state called Liberia or Liberty. The flag looks like that of America. But I'm not going to talk about that liberty. I'm going to talk about the kingdom or the village that ruled the world. It started on River Tiber, and it ruled from Scotland to the boundaries of India. This was the Roman Empire. When the Roman Empire expanded, it started taking slaves. In the beginning, the Roman Empire, pollination, many nations. Because what used to happen, whenever they would fight with a place and the battle was over, automatically the citizens of that place became Roman citizens. That's why you hear even Saul of Tarsus calling himself a Roman citizen. But as time went by, those who were running the military, those who were running the government, the Caesars, forgot that these people who they were conquering with different cultures and different positions, because when you conquer a place, a country, you get from the king to the smallest person in society. They decided now, because they were superior, they were a bigger city, they will now start enslaving these people. So those in power grabbed land, grabbed everything, and the Roman themselves were left with nothing. Many were left staying on the streets if you were not in the army, because now the army was paying. It had come from the patriotic army serving the Romans now to a military formation like the ones we have now. You are paid to be in the army. And when you conquer a place now, you ravage everything that was there, take it back, plunder, and plunder up to the people, and now these people would work in the farms. So now we had the landlords, people who had those big farms, and many slaves working. Slaves were treated in the most inhumane parts. They were taken to be like animals. You could slaughter them if you wanted. You could overwork them. You could work them until they died. Their children were just like lambs, or like, what we call it, calves, or like puppies. You could sell them. You could do anything you want. If you wanted to set a slave on fire, you would. They took advantage of this and had an entertainment industry. Yes, it was called the Gladiators show, is it? Yeah. They had the games. And people would fight to death. And then they had the games. People would ride. This was the entertainment of that time. And the slaves were overworked. They went and got somebody from North Africa when that place was ravaged. Is it Tunisia or Libya? Somewhere there. And somebody of status called Eunice. It's confusing because in Africa sometimes Eunice was a name for ladies, but in cultures that are Islamic, Eunice is a name for a man. So Eunice was enslaved, but he was a person from high caste in his place. And he saw the people being treated in inhuman conditions. He organized an uprising and they fought. They fought, but the Roman kept bringing a reinforcement because the Roman Empire had gone to bigger places. They were eventually defeated. Eunice was kept in a prison, starved, and lice were left on him so that he could be eaten by lice and all that suffering. Eunice died. But he had led a very big uprising in Sicily. Later, a gladiator by the name Spartacus felt that need for liberty. You're taken to schools, you are trained to fight so that you entertain people with your lives. You kill, you spill your blood. And he also organized an uprising. And his uprising was big because he took the fellow gladiators, those who were there, rebelled with a few gladiators there, and now because this one had proper fighting skills. In the case of Eunice, people are using things like tools, farming tools and all that. And they held the Roman army for a very long time. But now, in the case of Spartacus, this was a fighter. And they fought the Roman kingdom to the edge. He fell later in battle. But it was a statement to the Roman that you cannot suppress people anyhow the way you wanted. That brought about changes, and that was the beginning of realizing that a human being can be suppressed to a certain level. He's still a human being, is not an animal. And it reaches a point where you cannot suppress him anymore, he explodes. That is what the Roman kingdom learned. And from the examples of Eunice and the examples of Spartacus, the Romans had to endure the biggest rebellion from a queen whose husband who fought with the husband and the husband was killed, Queen Boudica of Britain. You can always refer to that and see how liberty is important. In any society, please work through democratic ways. If you try to suppress people, Rome can give you an example. Eunice, a slave, rose, and they fought for a long time before they suppressed Eunice. Spartacus fought, and they took a long time before they suppressed him. Landini, when the Romans had established themselves in Landini, which is today's London. And within those days, a queen rose and he fought for the freedom. She fought for the freedom of her people. Boudica, though defeated like them, showed the Romans that now you have to integrate with these people. You cannot rule by brute force because people reach an exploding time. That was the Roman story, the Roman Empire. 3 great One, a slave. Two, a slave who was a gladiator. And three, a queen from the ruled people who reached breaking point. So, anywhere in the world, those who are in power should always know that people can be able to bring you down. We had a situation like that. There was a country that almost went to bloodshed, but a big country. And from there, the one who was there learned and is back again, but things are different. So it is when people feel suppressed, they reach an exploding point. That is the thing. Democracy is where everybody feels included, wanted. Then you have an easy time in your ruling. That is an example from the past and the present. That's my take for now.